Hi, I'm Janelle from the Furniture Sisters.
And I'm Sheila.
And we are going to show you how we took an old, outdated 1970s dresser, stripped the top, and gave it a beige wash.
Woo! Follow along. Check out this dresser that we're going to flip. This is a dark and dated 70s dresser. It has heavy varnish on the top. It's thick. It's solid.
All right, let's take a look at this top because I'm sure we'll get lots of people that say, why did you paint this? Look at the wear and tear it has. It's been a well-loved dresser, but some of these are quite deep, and good sanding will take it all the way down to the raw wood, and it's going to be beautiful. We've done one of these before and it turned out awesome. All right, we're starting. This is the donkey dresser because it looks like a donkey kicked it.
Whack!
Whack, right there. And that's heavy. I mean, for crying out loud, if anybody wants to keep that its natural state, good luck to you. But we're gonna make this beautiful. Wait till you see what that wood is gonna look like underneath.
Because the varnish on this is so thick, we are going to use a stripper to help us get it down to the raw wood. We are using a stripper called StarTen, and this is the first phase of the stripper that you put on, and you'll let it sit for about 15 minutes and let it do its thing until we scrape it off. When you're putting stripper on your piece, you want to make sure that you totally cover the top, because if you miss a spot, then that part isn't going to come off. So really use it liberally. Don't be afraid to put a ton on. More is better when you're working with stripper. You don't want it to dry out because once it's dry, the stripping process stops working. So put it on heavy. And just a reminder, when you are working with stripper, you want to do it outside. It's super potent and toxic, and you just don't want those fumes in your house. We also need to wear a mask. We totally forgot in this video, but yes, wear a mask for protection. So after you have full coverage with the stripper, you're going to let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes and let it do its thing. So you can see we had to add a little more stripper on this part. It was just drying out, and you don't want it to dry out before it has activated and attacked that varnish. All right, it is officially time to remove the stripper. We're using a plastic scraper so that we don't damage the surface of the wood. And we are just scraping that stripper right off. And while the stripper comes off, it's also pulling off that heavy, thick varnish. So while we're scraping, we just push it into an old cookie tray. We want to just kind of keep our area neat and not have it on the ground. So we collect it with the cookie tray, put it all in there until we're done scraping every little bit off. You can see I'm struggling a little bit to get it off. The weather had turned cold and temperature definitely affects it.
Okay, the last pass. Then we're gonna move on to phase 2. All right, our next step is the phase 2, which is to spray this phase 2 onto the wood, rub it off with a green rubby guy, like a Scotch-Brite guy, and then we spray again and wipe off with a cloth, and that's it. It's ready for paint when it's all dry.
So our client is going for a whitewashed look, and so we may have to bleach this to get this dark stain out, but we will see what happens when we start sanding it.
Okay. I like to feel a little bit of gunk still on.
There it is.
So she got the sprayer or the scraper, I pulled off a little bit more of that heavy varnish. See where Sheila missed the scraping? Not necessarily her fault. It just was really thick there.
Definitely not my fault.
All right, the stripping process is complete. We have cleaned off the afterwash. Now we're gonna sand down this top and get it ready for a beige wash. The beige wash we're gonna show you on 2 nightstands that were also prepped the same way so that you can see how we're going to do the finish on these 2 tops and the dresser
Hey,
top.
look at that. We've got some beautiful fresh raw wood, and what are we going to do to it?
We are gonna put a beige wash on it. Usually we do a white wash. We're going beige this time because we want to warm it up a little bit.
Okay, we're using Fusion Mineral Paint Champlain with a little bit of water, maybe 1 to 3 parts. 1 part water, 3 parts paint. Sheila mixed.
That's our way.
Oh my heck. 1 part paint, 3 parts water. So it's very watered down. We mixed it up really good. All right. Why are we doing a wash instead of just a regular paint?
Okay. It's super trendy right now to have this really light natural wood tone, but if we just put a poly on top of this, the tannins in the wood are gonna change the color of the wood tone, and we're not gonna like it. So we put the wash on it, it neutralizes the tones in the wood and gives us that natural look that we're going for.
Okay, Sheila is misting the brush that we're gonna use. This is typically a chalk paint brush, but we can use any kind of brush really.
Yeah.
The reason she's getting it wet is to...
Just so it goes on smoother.
Okay.
And this brush I'm using because it holds a ton.
All right, now you're gonna watch us put the beige wash on the dresser that we prepped and also those 2 nightstands that you just saw. Here we go. We apply the wash in the direction of the grain of the wood. We want it to settle in the grain. When we have covered the entire top, we're gonna quickly wipe it back with some shop towels. Those are lint-free towels. While we are wiping it off, you'll notice that we are wiping with the grain of the wood. That just helps everything look uniform and nice. And you just keep pulling back that paint until it feels dry to the touch on the top. You don't want to leave any moisture or extra wash on the surface. All right, take a peek at our new beige washed dresser and nightstands. We finished it after the beige wash dried by putting multiple coats of polyurethane on the top and on the base of our dresser and nightstands. We love this light wood finish. Now check out the nightstands. They actually were not part of the set with the dresser, but because we've painted them the same and we sanded the tops and prepared them the same, it looks like a perfect set and that they totally go together. Hey, we're so happy that you joined us today. If you like this, go ahead and subscribe to our channel so you can see more amazing furniture flips and tutorials.